Today, I'm going to highlight some of the key features we've implemented in ShipperGuide over the last quarter, many of which have come from feedback you have provided. So we really appreciate your input. Please keep it coming. Now, for those of you not too familiar with ShipperGuide, ShipperGuide is an integrated transportation management system that helps you plan, procure, and execute freight. It lets you run your RFP process, getting your best carrier rates. It lets you get instant spot quotes from carriers and your brokers. It lets you tender freight to those carriers, lets you track your shipments to stay on top of shipment status, and it lets you manage your carrier relationships, all in one place. And finally, you can track and review your operational performance. Very important to make good decisions going forward about how you manage your freight. So to learn more about ShipperGuide, visit us at loadsmart.com/ShipperGuide. And we can set you up with a demo and you can learn all about it end to end. So let's jump into the product update, starting with planning features. This month, we've implemented or released order consolidation, which helps you create a shipment plan from a set of orders. We know that oftentimes you have orders that you really can't consolidate. And so we've built a feature that just lets you, through a one-click, identify all those orders and directly convert them into shipments. So sort of instant shipment building based on orders. Then for those orders where there's a consolidation opportunity, we now have a map-based user interface that lets you build multi-stop FTL shipments. So as you can see in the little image there, I have a pickup location, a number of delivery locations. I've gone through and I've clicked delivery locations to build out a multi-stop FTL shipment. And then from there, once I've locked in all my multi-stops and my one-stop shipments, when I then look at my shipments throughout the life cycle, the order details will be captured with each shipment. So you have full traceability of orders throughout the shipment life cycle. To make managing orders even easier, ShipperGuide lets you set up order threshold rules based on weight, pieces, and volume. So when those rules are met, a shipment is automatically created from a single order. And this could be a really big time saver. Note that if you're interested in using our consolidation features, please reach out to your account manager to enable them. We will typically want to integrate any kind of order management system you might have so you don't have to manually create the orders in ShipperGuide. Okay, now on to facilities. We've heard your need for robust facility profiles to make pickup and deliveries as efficient as possible. We continue to build out the profile. We've added an address to field, which now gets carried through to the BOL. We've also added more robust operating hours features. So you can set up on a single day multiple operating hour windows, for example, and other more complex scenarios. We've also added facility accessorials, enabling you to specify charges, typical charges associated with the facility. And then when you create loads that use that facility, those charges will be carried over. So you can make sure you have the correct charges added to a given shipment. That's a big time saver and helps you get the charges right. Okay, moving on. Many of you have told us that you need to track certain information associated with shipments. These are often business specific. We've tried to anticipate typical things you'd want to capture on a shipment level, but it's not possible for us to anticipate every possible thing you might want to carry through. So instead, we've created custom fields. You can add a custom field to the shipment template itself. So as in the screenshots showing, I added 5 custom fields. The first one calling sell rate, because maybe I want to track the price that I will be getting paid from a customer for this shipment, which is different than the buy rate I have. So I added a custom field called sell rate, Now on the shipment creation and shipment edit forms, I have the ability to put in a value for that sell rate. And that value is then carried through. If I have to do analyses, extract the data later on, if I have to pass the data to an integration to another system, that information will be carried through. So custom fields is a very useful new feature. We've also made a number of improvements around shipment execution. For one, we have a new shipment details page that makes it easier for you to manage a shipment. There's a map view that shows the real-time status of the shipment right on the map. You can see the pickup location, delivery locations, where the truck is at the given point. This, of course, is subject to your carrier being able to provide tracking data and it being configured through the system. If it's configured right, available from the carrier, it will appear on the map. The page is simpler, more intuitive. It makes it easier for you to access the BOL, access other documents, and see any charges associated with the shipment. For example, extra charges added by the carrier. There's also an edit shipment button at the top that makes for more simple, streamlined editing. That edit form that comes up mirrors the shipment creation form. So you'll be very familiar as to where you go in and edit the information. Another cool feature we've recently added is shipment tags. So if you have a lot of active shipments, there's usually some you want to follow more closely than others. With shipment tags, you can tag those shipments and call the tags whatever you want, color them however you want. And that lets you keep track of the ones that are important to you. You could even filter by the specific tag. So for example, I can look at just the shipments that I've tagged at risk. Makes it very easy to home in and focus on shipments that are most important. Next, we've added a new feature, which is a shipment notification email. And some of you have told us that you need to notify facility managers and other parties, sometimes not working for your company, of incoming shipments. You could now specify facility contacts and others to be notified, and they will receive an email of shipment details once the shipment has been picked up. Contacts will also receive shipment documents like BOLs. More exciting news. We're happy to announce the release of FreightIntel AI, a powerful new analysis tool. You've told us that going through the ShipperGuide detailed reports and dashboards is somewhat time consuming. There's a lot of data there. We created the Copilot tool, which lets you query your data set to ask questions about how your business is performing. But even that too, it's a little hard to figure out what types of questions to ask to get good results. With FreightIntel AI, the tool itself exposes what it thinks are the most important insights, brings those to the surface, and gives you an understanding of what the scenario is or what the potential savings opportunity is. So for example, in this case, it says a high concentration of spend on a particular carrier. It says there's a potential savings of $124,000 if you diversify your carrier mix. Well, if you want to know more information, you drill down and it will give you observations. It will show you, say on a graph, the particular lanes where maybe you're overpaying for freight and relying too much on that one carrier. It gives you a specific recommendation as to what to do about that situation. And if you want to drill down to learn more, that's when you can ask Copilot, maybe to have it tell you specifically how many shipments you've made on a given lane, how much you're paying this particular carrier on average versus the market rate, or other details that maybe the FreightIntel AI hasn't exposed to you. Now, as you use this, if you find that some of the observations are useful, you should give a thumbs up. Some are not useful, give a thumbs down. That way, that feedback will train the model and make it even better. It's a very new exciting capability. We've made some updates on the carrier side as well, carrier management improvements. So we've added carrier cost and service metrics, separating spot and contract data. So you could separately analyze how your carriers perform on the spot side as well as the contract side. We've also made the carrier profiles more robust. So you can add multiple contacts associated with a carrier. And again, these contacts could be notified, for example, through chat and other ways. We've also allowed for multiple attachments on a carrier profile. So, you might want to capture things like an insurance certificate or proof of registration, multiple documents you can maintain there in that profile. Finally, on the carrier side, we've improved the shipment level chat capability. Um, as you may know, you may use this before, there's a chat facility associated with shipments on your shipper screens. Now we've added the ability for carriers to initiate a chat on their side of the interface. So they can start up a chat. You'll be notified of that new message. All the conversation details are captured both on the carrier side and the shipper side. So it's another step to make kind of managing the interaction between you and the carrier smoother. Finally, um, we have officially launched our ShipperGuide API, making it easier for shippers to integrate ShipperGuide with their existing platforms. So for example, if you have shipments in an ERP, you can automatically create those shipments in ShipperGuide using the API. The API also enables carriers and other partners to become part of the shipper ecosystem. So this is exciting. I know a number of you have been looking for this, and we'll work with you to integrate to help you use it as needed. So that's all we have for you today. If you have any questions on these new features and functions, please reach out to your account managers or email us at shipperguide@loadsmart.com. We will get back to you on more details, make sure you're all set up to make the most of these new features.